you don't see any of that in like indie comics, like a monthly comic, like, and I, like he did it for like a good like year and a half at least.
You rush on bright on the stairwell, in the laundry room, on the couch at night. Like a fire, like an open flame, you burn me every single day. But it's okay.
I don't know if it has as solid of a core continuously submitting. There's a lot of outsider people that maybe you don't know, right?
There's a ton of people that I don't even know,
Yeah.
that are, it's really great seeing like all kinds of stuff come in, you know what I mean? I hope people just like keep submitting, so I have to like really pick out the best work possible, so.
I didn't start making comics because Nate McDonough made comic for me.
You know, like coming up with like Marvel comics, like, you know, like you'd see a comic that like would come out every single month. You'd see like, you know, dozens of comics that come out every single month, and it's like, oh, that's just what comics do. And then like you grow up and you think you'll try it out yourself, and it's like you make something like markedly like less impressive or complex, and it takes you like much longer than a month, and it takes you like a month to like put it together. And
Well, me and Nate were having breakfast one day at the Bloomfield Sandwich Shop, and he was making comics already. I was saying how I wanted to make something of my own, and he was like, I don't know if you have like enough dedication to do that, and he's right, I don't really. Like, to come out with something very regularly of my own work.
it's like Andy was like super bummed out, and he's just like, you know, like, he had some shit that was going down. He was like worried about like this, that, and the third, and like for whatever reason, he like looked upon like me having put out the first few issues of my comic as being this like tremendous like life affirming accomplishment, and like I'd probably been egging him on for a while to just like make his own goddamn comics already.
Issue 1 actually is a misnomer of like a anthology, because it's not really, it's just my work. So I thought like it would be cool to like just kind of have a lot of people's stuff, because there's a lot of people making stuff at that time.
And it was easy for people to
everyone
submit.
was drawn, so I was like, why not?
Andy'd been talking about making Andromeda for some time, and like no one quite believed him, and like he's like, you know, like give me art, like give me submissions, and like no one, like everyone was just too lazy.
Everyone around us was always making stuff, so it's
Yeah.
you can even just steal it off their coffee table. I
even
think
if
that's what we
it's-
kind of used to do, like take drawings off of people's coffee tables and put it in your drawing.
We got really serious about like mastering, just like laying something out, designing something, putting a publication together. But and then I just like, you know, took him down to like my secret printing spot and like showed him how to like, you know, format and like print out a comic, and then he like printed out the first 100 issues of Andromeda. But
You have a secret printing spot?
yeah,
Like,
it's a secret.
Every time I try to draw with a panel or try to tell like a continuous story, I like can't do it. I have to like draw on one piece of paper. There's a sort of narrative that I have in a lot of my things. That's about like being sad and kind of laughing about it. I find like when I'm drawing or something, it's like a lot of my stuff has tiny detail marks and different dots and stuff, and that's like sort of meditative to like just keep doing that. And so telling the story kind of comes second. Like I'll add like the type at the end. So I'll like do all the design and feel how I feel, or like pick song lyrics out of something and then put that on there. I never knew Tom, like forever.
That's
we
the
never
thing about
knew
Tom, like we don't really, like, I know him and I like Tom a lot, but like,
But me and
we just kind of like, you know, I met Tom like before I made Andromeda, actually. Like right when I was coming out with it, like I think I had just made the first issue, and I went to like a zine exchange, like slash like talk with Jude Vachon at the library. It was probably like 10 people there.
Tom Doohan was out there, and he had just started doing comics, and he was really excited. He's immediately got in touch with Andy and was like submitting right away, and like had tons of stuff in Andromeda.
Yeah, I mean, I was always like a doodler. My grandmother really got me into like doodling on napkins, and then it kind of like just formed into comics. And like I said, I was just doing it for my friends, and then when I realized like other people were like actually like printing zines and like mini comic books of like the same thing that I was like kind of doing, but like on a bigger scale, I was like, well, I want to be part of that. I think it's like really rad. I worked at Half Price Books out on McKnight Road, and I don't really like buying things, so I just like would pay rent and buy like records or like comics every once in a while. So I just like saved up all this money, and a friend like invited me to like move in with her like when she was doing an internship down in New Orleans, and I was like, and all I did was skateboard and draw comics. So I was like about to put out like a new issue of Attack of the Zombie Soybot when I met them, and like I didn't know if like I should add stories or not, if I should just go straight like you know, jump into comics. And they were like the two that were like, you should definitely do like all comics, these are great, like oh yeah, you should like be part of Andromeda. And like I remember like them telling me that, and like that was like the biggest. I remember like calling all my friends like, oh man, I'm gonna be part of this thing, and it's awesome, like these people who draw like are awesome, and they're like, they want me to be part of it, which is great. It was a great feeling. I mean, it still is.
Yeah, that's how I met Tom, and it was pretty cool.
Issue 2 is like just like 4 or 5 people maybe, and then issue 3 was the only themed issue, which was art school.
Yeah, because we were all angsty about that still.
Like, what's Andy doing right now? We just say he was like feeding pieces of legal paper one at a time into his LaserJet printer. Because like, that thing was like such a horrible piece of shit too. But it's like as much as like we were giving him a hard time about it, I had so much respect for him, and I'm amazed he stuck with it for the first 5 issues. I think it was just like he was printing with a bunch of paper he had gotten for really cheap, feeding it one at a time into the laser printer.
More. A lot of people don't really even think about issue 5 and how weird and bad it was.
What is issue 5?
People forget about it.
The cat?
No, it's not. No, it's like got a face on it and stuff.
It's really awesome to see like a bunch of copies of something you made, like for comics, like to have like a stack of something you made like over and over again reproduced.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Like with a comic, it's like you could just leave it wherever you want, and people might read it or they might not. And like, or I guess just zines in general, like that culture of just like giving away your work to people so they just enjoy it.
And I think that
Work
also
like
you
that
like
is,
to
like, more
organize
powerful.
people. And you like to like...
Yeah, I guess. Not really. I don't really want to organize people. I just want to get people involved. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started hanging out with a lot more people, and also PIX happened when issue 6 came out. And PIX was like the first, you know, indie comics expo in Pittsburgh, and after that, 7, 8, 9, 10, they all grew
And a lot
a
of
little
people saw
more
it and
because
listened
we
to it.
met up with people we never drew with before, like Dan McCloskey and Lizzie Solomon, and just, you know, started hanging out with them more, and eventually that just led to like some really great classic work that came from that, you know.
And a lot of times submissions
stuff
were made
together.
on a Sunday that we held at Andy's house. And everyone
Oh,
would come
yeah,
over and we
Sunday.
would draw.
You go out to Andy's house. He was living on Sherrod Street in Lawrenceville at the time. It'd be me, Andy, Dan, and whoever else, but like pretty reliably the 3 of us every single day. And we draw from like probably like noon to midnight or later.
You know?
I'd say that people were starting to think a little more seriously about how they made comics, as far as like flow and like different techniques with the brush, and definitely ever since then, you know, color has been used a lot more, and it's like really has some like excellent outcomes. So
We all got like a lot better just like being around one another and like working that much on a regular basis. And I feel like, you know, like a lot of cool stuff that ended up in Andromeda like was at those drawing parties.
I went to one, and it was fun, but I have to like, when I'm drawing, like I like complete silence, other than like a podcast or like music in the background. Like if I'm having a conversation with someone, it's hard for me to like focus drawing.
After a while, like I feel as though like we were probably just being like too much of a nuisance to Andy, just like hanging around his house, like being loud, like partying until like 3 a.m. every Sunday. So it kind of kind of petered out after a while, but like
That
Yeah,
went on
eat,
for
like,
a pretty long time.
Pierogies and
Yeah.
then draw like when it was really really cold because we didn't have anything else to do.
I should have went to more.
and I mean I'm drawing all the time, Dan's drawing all the time. Andy's like working hard as he can on like 8 different things. I wish he'd draw more, but
I just want to be able to like do it, and it's not really about the money. It's just about like doing something for a living that I like to do. That'd be really great. Money always sucks.
That would stop you from drawing?
No, it doesn't stop, but it's an impedance. You know what I mean? Like
Why?
you give up a lot of your time so you can have money, so you don't make as.
Like you have to go to your job and that sucks?
Yeah.
but people like like realize that like an anthology is a tremendous undertaking, especially when you're like publishing on a regular basis. But that really isn't exactly a lot of people. It's just like a couple people that I know who have ever tried it, and well, I guess 3. Like Bill Boychelle said it best. Like he did an anthology back in the day, and he said that like putting together an anthology takes about as much time as just completely doing your own comic.
How long's the Andromeda gonna go on for?
I mean, I don't know, man. As long as people still have interest in it, you know.
And I mean, I'm always so like, just thrilled when a new issue of Andromeda comes out.
I think art is something like is a lifetime thing for me. Like, I knew that from like a very early age. You know what I mean?
It's kind
like,
of a
so that
default to
was
do it too for me.
the inherent nature to create. It's all like we've all done it. We all started doing that. You know, it's just we forget that it's often we forget that it's like important.
I feel like there's so much awesome things going on around me that it's cool to document.
I love any kind of comic that like has like multiple stories that aren't necessarily connected to one another, but like there's just like an overall like similarity, like a feeling to it.
In the evening, you're a shining star, brighter than all the headlights in the fog. The leaves are falling. Are you thinking of me when you're sleeping? Are you dreaming?